Hey everyone, I'm Jen. This is my husband Peter.
Hey guys.
So we're here today to talk about this coffee machine that we just received yesterday. We're super excited about it. It's called the Bruvi. It's a little bit of a kind of startup company, so we did do a little investment in it a couple months ago.
Yeah, like six months ago now.
We've been waiting a little while for it, and we are super excited for it to be here. We've invested before, in some startup companies, some products, that hadn't hit the market yet. And we've been a little disappointed in them or kind of lost some money, in those things. So we're actually really excited that this is here. And like I said, we just got it yesterday, so we've used it a couple times, but we're already super excited to talk about it. So let me go ahead and just kind of pull it out. I just want to start talking about the things that kind of drew me to it in the beginning. So for me, number one, looks. I like Keurigs, I like Nespressos. I think they look nice too, but for me, this is very much like up my alley. I like white, and this is a nice matte white finish. I like the kind of wood grain accents that it has here, and I even really like the metal trim like here and even here. You could, when you feel it for yourself, it's actually a very, it's definitely metal. It's solid. It's not like, sometimes they're
high quality
plastic covered, covered in a metal looking, finish. So those are super, super nice.
Yeah, it's definitely high quality. You can tell, like I have an espresso and a Keurig at my office, and you can tell this particular company, even though they're small and kind of like a startup or what have you, really took the time, didn't push the product out to market right away, and took the time to really look at every single detail possible. And you can really tell, it's crafted so much better than I even anticipated it looking when we first got it. I was kind of thinking it was like going to be just plasticky.
Yeah.
It's
especially
like
for a new product.
Yeah, it's super solid. It's solid. Yeah.
It is solid. It feels very nice.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about it is like loose or anything like that, if that makes sense. This part right here can actually even go up and attaches right here into this second level. If you have a little like espresso cup that you want to use with it instead of like the full size coffee cup. So I think that's really nice. And then something that Peter had actually noticed, right here it actually says Good Morning Sunshine right there.
Well, it was actually funny because we were looking at all their videos and Instagram and things before we invested in the product, and I knew that it said something. I just wasn't sure what it actually was, and I saw it this morning. I was like, that's it's those cute and cool little things that kind of make you appreciate a product even more, because you know that someone intentionally put that there, which I think is just really cool.
Yeah. Besides for the looks, a few of the other things that really drew me to this machine while I was doing research about it was the fact that it uses these pods called bee pods. They look like a K-cup, which is very interesting, but they work really different. So we'll show you in a little bit because we're actually going to put one in there and make a cup. But basically the lid kind of lifts up, and like I said, Peter will explain this a little bit better after we make the cup. But everything is contained in this pod. So nothing is really, the coffee itself is never supposed to actually touch the machine. So I really like that for the fact that I think it just really adds to the cleanliness factor of it. Or Keurig machines have always, I want to work, I know you have, a lot of people haven't worked, sometimes they don't seem the cleanest to me, and that's probably because we don't clean ours out as often as we probably should, but I really like, that aspect of it.
Right, that says something too, right? All these companies tell you, oh, well, you need to clean the machine every 600 times or whatever that is. Unless you're keeping a tally or a clicker or something, you don't really know when that's going to happen, right? Some of the machines don't notify you when it needs to be cleaned or whatever. I don't really want cross-contamination from pod to pod. So I really love the aspect of not having Jen's coffee flavor go into my coffee flavor in the morning. Because, at work, that's what happens, right? We have someone likes peppermint mocha, another one likes pumpkin spice latte, and then the next thing you know, you're having a peppermint spice pumpkin latte, and it's just like, what are we doing here? And with this machine, I mean, I really like the fact, like Jen was saying, that everything is contained into this pod. It's completely sealed. I don't know if you can hear that. It's completely sealed. There's no air going in and out of this right now. And the K cups, I feel like, are the same way, but they puncture a hole in one place and then another place, and there's coffee grounds in your coffee and all that. Mm-hmm. So I just really I know that they say, and again, look at their website, the Bruvi website and their blog. Hi, Luna. But there's really something to say about the craftsmanship and what they've done, the thought behind the pod itself. Let's not even talk about the machine, but the way in which they're holding the coffee and how they're distributing the coffee and everything. It's really innovative, if you will. Yeah. It's really cool.
And then we'll talk about it a little bit more when we put it in the machine. But also at the end, after it brews and you open it up and this goes into its little like holder, it spritzes out water, like in here, and cleans it all out.
Yeah. So I noticed that this morning actually. I opened it up, and the B pod dropped down, and then I just saw this like stream of water, and I was like, "What is that?"
So cool.
But it's to make sure that there really is truly no contamination, and even if there was potentially something there, it gets it away. And I haven't seen another product do something similar to that, so I think that's really cool.
I think just the thought behind this, the attention to detail, everything about it is really amazing to me.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing I love about these bee pods, and it talks a little bit more about it on the box here, but it does say that they are compostable, which I love. I'm definitely trying to reduce the amount of plastic, that we use. We don't compost or anything yet. I would like to possibly get into that one day. But it does also even just say, even if you don't compost, you can feel better, about throwing these in the regular trash, because they are going to biodegrade a whole lot faster than just regular plastic.
Yeah.
And that is, I think the K-Cup was also trying to kind of become a little bit more environmentally friendly at one point in time. So you kind of, after you used it, we're supposed to take the center out, throw that out, and then, just put the outside part in the recycling. But you don't have to worry about that. Like it says, you can just kind of throw the whole thing out, and it's going to biodegrade, as fast as it can. So I absolutely love that about it. The next great thing, I just think, is the screen.
Why don't you show the water reservoir though too?
So let's talk about that first. So I'm going to take that out right now, just because it's super easy. It's just right.
And you'll hear it chime, which I think is really cool.
And it shows this little
it shows down
here, which is saying there's no water.
Yeah. So it tells you when it's low, or it tells you when it's been removed, which I think is cool.
Disconnected. So it's a really nice solid lid. If you want to wash it does say in here that it's like hand wash only, but you can wash it, in the sink. And it's a decent sized reservoir.
Yeah.
Love that. And then it even comes with, we put filtered water in here. We haven't hooked it up yet, but it actually comes with a water filter kit. So I think, we'll probably hook that up later, but it filters the water from even in here as it goes in there. Yeah,
which is really cool. So this kit has a premium water filter holder, 2 coconut shell activated carbon water filters, and it kind of gives you instructions and things in the back. I know that they're selling this independent too, so when you run out, you can always get more on the webpage. But yeah, I think that's really cool. I know like other companies too have something similar to this, but I just holistically speaking, I think there's something to say about like all the recyclable pieces that are kind of going into the machine. It's not just use it and throw it away and it sits in a landfill forever.
Yeah, so for sure. I love that. And then it's super easy once you fill it up with water. It has a max fill line. And then it's very easy to just pop back in. No problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Some like, I don't
got
know,
a jiggle or
other things, but you're like, fiddling around with it. This goes in so easy.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you talk about, this was really cool too, which we haven't mentioned yet, the electrical cord.
Yes.
Which we saw yesterday when we pulled it out of the, And we'll insert some photos too, so you guys can see it.
I'm actually going to unplug it to kind of show it a little bit better. So.
But it's so cool. We thought it was wrapped in something.
Yeah. It's actually just, and it might be, like, I think it's a regular electrical cord, but wrapped in almost like a woven. It's like a woven material.
It just looks good.
I mean, this looks like solid.
It just
like
looks
high
good.
Quality, like,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but like nothing, you know, nothing is happening to this. Nothing about this looks cheap.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Like, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and talking about it while Jen hooks it back up, right now they're running a promotional sale to have the first round of Bruvies sent out to customers. So like we were saying, we pre-ordered ours, I want to say it was about 6 months ago, and it just got in. They're doing a sale to lower the initial price of the bundle so that you can get it at the same price we got ours when we, potentially depending on, you know, if they increase the price or not now, what we paid when we first, you know, ordered it 6 months ago. And it's going to go up in price. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, and I probably would pay the retail price of it now that we've played around with it for a few days or 2 days or whatever it is. It's really fancy, and we'll get into some of the cool tech stuff in a minute. Okay, so let's get into coffee. What do you think?
So I think I'm going to go ahead and brew this light roast right here. So basically, it's super simple to use. So I think with the Keurig, we're kind of all used to like putting the pod, you know, in this way, but it actually goes straight down this way. Yep. And again, it's very easy to use. You can see the shape right here. It tells you exactly kind of how it goes in. So you're gonna put it in there, and then here's a little bit of an interesting thing. As you're putting this handle down, it feels kind of a little hard to press on. Nothing, you know, it doesn't, you know, make it too hard to do or anything, but it's just something like, I kind of thought I was breaking it at first, I guess, but you're actually kind of breaking the seal, you know, of the top of the bee pod. Like, it's not just like puncturing a hole like some of the other ones. So it is a little bit, you know, you put a little bit more pressure into it. So kind of like that.
Yeah, and we'll show you why that is after we brew, for sure.
Yeah. And then, so this is one of the things that I think is super cool about it. Once you put the pot in, this machine can actually recognize exactly what coffee this is, like exactly which particular, you know, brand and whatever coffee this is. And then it's going to pop up everything on the screen, particular to that coffee, right? And so it's going to already have presettings of the best temperature to brew it at, the best length of time, you know, everything that goes into making the coffee taste the best that it can, and what the, I guess, brewer intended for it is in there. And that's super, super cool. Yeah,
I really like that aspect a lot. They really work directly with the brewers to understand length of time, the ground, and all of that. I mean, they really, again, I keep beating a dead horse, but they really took the time out as a smaller company to really understand what the customers were looking for, but also what the coffee brewers needed, and bringing that to the forefront too. Making sure that it's not just another cup of coffee, it's how the brewer intended it to be tasting, or how to palate it and all of that. So I really appreciate that, for sure.
I think that is super cool.
Yeah.
So the other like super, super cool thing I think about it is that this can actually be hooked up to your phone. So there's an app. We have Apple iPhones, and that's how we're doing it right now. But basically, when you open up this app, you're going to see this exact screen right here. You know, again, the one that has all the settings already predetermined, you know, to make the coffee the best. And you could press this start button from anywhere, from your bed, like right, your alarm goes off in the morning, you get your phone, you turn your alarm off, and you start brewing your coffee. Like, I absolutely love that. I think it's the greatest idea ever. It's a little bit of an interesting story.
Throw me under the bus.
Like I said, we just got it yesterday. So Peter was working for a little while yesterday just to kind of set it all up, but also get that function where it connects to the phone working. And it did take him a little while to get that going. So we will say that. Yeah. I think in the end it was
user error. Completely user error, 100%. But I do want to just say though, even though it was user error, the customer support was fantastic.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, and kind of, I'm hopeful that you can learn through me and don't do my same mistakes. We got the machine yesterday. I took it right out of the box. I think that's the feature of being able to do it when you're in bed kind of was appealing to me. So I was like, we need to make this work. And I couldn't. I tried about 35 different times to hook it up to our Wi-Fi. I actually broke our home Wi-Fi for a few hours. And
Yellowstone's on tonight, so I was a little upset.
So I broke our Wi-Fi for a few hours, and I finally just got so frustrated. I just messaged the support team, and I was like, "Hey, I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. The machine won't do it. Do you have a trouble workaround, what have you?" And it was funny, and I appreciate the fact that the support team reached out the same day, 9 p.m. actually. One of the support techs, I think he was actually like the lead support tech, messaged me directly and was like, "Hey, Peter, like, I see that you tried to log in many, many, many times. Don't do that. Reach out to us on the first time you're having issues. We're happy to correct the issues." He even offered to like Zoom chat and call me to set up a meeting to troubleshoot it. But then he ended up sending me a screenshot of what the permissions within the Apple phone for that application should be. And stupid me, I had like one of them off by mistake. So I woke up in the morning, I saw his email, I turned that one setting on, and it hooked up within 2 minutes. So it's super simple. And taking a step back, when I couldn't get it and I was getting really frustrated at myself, I even said to Jen, I was like, "Well, we don't need that. Like, it's such a cool machine anyway that's just like a feature that if we get it to work, we get it to work." But I mean, I brewed my first cup of coffee with it through the app this morning. So it's a differentiator. It really is like a differentiator, I think.
Super
for sure.
cool. I think so for sure. And like you said, just having customer support like that is amazing. Like, I don't feel like you find that from any company, big or small, nowadays. Like, it was 9 p.m. on a Saturday. Yeah. And they were trying to help us. So that's amazing. Yeah. So
agreed.
So, like I said, so I guess back to this, and like I said, so everything's already programmed, to make the best cup possible. However, if you wanted to change things, you could. Yeah. You could make it hotter. You could actually make it even less acidic. It has a lower acid button, stronger iced cold brew, and then it gives you even some size options. So it's recommending the 8, but you could change it to 6, 10, or even 12. So.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Which I really just love the screen too. I mean, I think I've said this before, but I was anticipating this kind of to be like a toy. So like it just being plain and plasticky. It's very elegant. Like, I don't know if you can see it from there, but we'll include some pictures. It's beautiful looking.
It's very I don't even know, solid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like the touch feature of it is very nice. So even Peter's just changing a couple different things here. And then even, so like I was saying, it knows what's in there. So let's say this morning Peter used an espresso pod. So it actually even gave you the option of doing an Americano. Yeah, exactly. So that's what he had made this morning. It's really cool. With the espresso pod. So I think let's just go ahead and
make sure you got your cup. Make sure you got your cup first. That is something which I appreciate this too. On the app, it actually warns you to make sure a cup is in place before you brew.
Because that's definitely something I'm going to end up doing one day. Yeah, there's no question.
But I mean, they literally thought about that, which I think is just so cool.
They have thought of everything. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit start.
Okay. So you can hear that the water is entering the pod now, and it's slowly starting to drip. You really can tell though that it's super quiet. Like the Nespresso machine we used to have, it would spin or whatever, and it's super loud.
Yeah. No, this, I feel like you hear the coffee hitting the cup, but the machine itself, it's a humming, makes a humming kind of sound, but
nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is nice for not waking other people up in the morning.
Yeah, when people have to get up at 4 o'clock versus 7. Yeah, it's a really cool feature. I mean, I really like it. And again, I just think it's, it gets the job done and it's super quiet about it. So it's cool. I also like the fact that it will add a certain amount of hot water depending on what the coffee brewer intended as well. So it does depending on what the settings you put in there, it'll brew the coffee to a certain amount and then we'll add hot water.
It's just a little bit of water.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if I already said this, but.
Did you hear that? It actually chimes when it's done. I think that's just so cute.
I love that.
Sorry.
I hope I didn't talk over that. But I don't know if I talked about this already, but I love too that it even just has that hot water feature.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can have, I love to drink tea, throughout the day. And instead of having to get the whole kettle and whatever, I love that I could just put this down and use the hot water feature. And then it even has a different, you can make the hot water hotter, or super hot. Kind of just depending on what you like. So I really like that.
Yeah.
This coffee, we've already had it. We've already tried, multiple of these. Is delicious. Right?
The coffee flavors are really, really good.
I feel better than Starbucks.
Yeah. I mean, I like my Starbucks once in a while, but I'm a coffee snob a little bit at least. I like to grind my coffee every morning before I actually have it, just because I like it to be fresh. I want to try it actually.
It's really good.
But it's so interesting because the 3 different flavors I've tried now in this variety pack, which you get 20 different cups in it, they've all been really great. And I don't really like fruity or any kind of that type of coffee. I like dark roast coffee, and they've all been really, really good.
It's
that's good.
It's good and it's hot.
Yeah,
right?
And that's a little bit fruity, and I'm that's good. Yeah, it's super hot. It's good.
Other I feel pod kind of coffee machines, it doesn't come out as hot.
Yeah. It's not piping hot.
It's very, very hot. Yeah. So you want to talk about the pod after?
Yeah. So this is really cool. I might have mentioned this already, but we'll talk about it again. So the pod itself actually stays in a receptacle inside the machine. So you don't have to worry about taking the pod out after it's done burning your hand or throwing it away or whatever. There's actually a receptacle here, which I'll show you in a second, that all the pods sit into. And I think it says that 6 pods can go into there at a time. But when you open up the lid, it actually sprays a little bit of water so that if there is any overlap of any kind of contaminants, it kind of gets rid of it all. So you'll hear it in a sec as I open this up. That's so cool. It's those little things that you don't even think about. Why do they do that? It's to be mindful of all those, potential things. And I mean, again, the pods themselves are built so that you don't have to worry about the needle going directly into the grinds and then having that bacteria and stuff like that. But that's such an additional layer, which I just think is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it even says on the top, it says warning hot, and then it says sharp needle. So I'm just going to close it back up. But yeah, this is where you can select your hot water. It gives you all your sizes, then you can make it hotter. But I want to show you where you take it out. So there's a little hand hold or finger hold here. You literally just pull it. And that's where your pods go. And it's really cool because this kind of opens up a little bit so you can just dump them out, which is cool. Do you want me to talk about the pod itself real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So like we were saying before, the pod itself, that hard push, actually breaks the seal here so that water can actually come out, because it doesn't do another needle like regular pods would. So one needle here, and then it drains out all the coffee. It actually drains out in the outer layer of the pod to drain into your cup. So that's kind of why you need to do that extra hard push down. But I just think that's so cool because, until that seal is broken, I mean, that's a fresh cup of coffee. You don't have to worry about anything else getting in there. So I just think that's really cool.
Like we already said, we only had this since yesterday. So we have only just kind of begun using it. So I think we're going to kind of keep using it and let you guys know how it goes. But I have to say right now, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, maybe we'll make another video in a couple weeks or whatever, just to see how it's going. But right now, it's great. The other thing I think I didn't kind of talk about in the beginning, we took some footage of the unboxing. Maybe we'll be able to put that somewhere too. But it also came boxed really nicely. Very solid. You knew that nothing was happening kind of in transit. It even came in this little burlap, type of bag that we could actually even keep and use for things. So I love it so far. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, like I was saying, I just like the super attention to detail in a smaller company that, this is their first large product, right? They don't have 6 different styles of machine to buy, and you don't have to worry about things breaking and then them being like, oh, well, which style do you have? If there's a problem, I'm sure you can call them and say like, hey, my handle's busted because it fell off the counter or something, and they'll know exactly what part it is, what kind of thing they need to fix or change or whatever that kind of looks like. I really like that. I also want to just mention that I really love the screen. Like, it's super simple but elegant at the same time. And I really thought it was going to look kind of cheesy based on some of the photos and videos that I saw online before it actually came in. I just thought it was going to be, some plasticky screen, but it looks really cool. Like, I really didn't think it was going to look as elegant as it really does.
The whole machine really, and I think they probably changed it maybe as they were going through prototypes, because I do remember kind of seeing like different pictures, but this is like sleek looking.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And also, like, I really like the variety pack. So like what Jen was saying, we got a 20 count of variety pack that has, I think, 3 or 4 different flavors in it.
Yeah, so it says 16 coffees and 8 espressos. Like I said, we've already tried some of them. There was like 2 different light roasts we've tried. Let's see what else we have in here. This is an espresso. Was this the same one you had this morning?
That's the one I had this morning. It was amazing, yeah.
This is like a medium dark roast. So there's a couple of those in there. There's just a plain medium roast. And then I think there's a few dark roasts in there too.
Yeah.
So there's a nice variety. There's some, we'll talk about them when we get them, because
there's some we're really looking forward to.
They have some really interesting ones that are coming out.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think they're out yet.
I think they're still working through like the manufacturing pieces of the coffee itself. But
so in our update video, we'll talk about this.
Because I'm looking forward to some of them too. I like some of the brands of coffee that they're using. It's not just their own brand. They're partnering with these other coffee companies to kind of incorporate their coffee beans into this particular product, which I think is really cool.
I think it's really cool.
The other piece that I just wanted to mention really quick is they're also coming out with a pod that you can put your own coffee beans into, which I think is really cool. That'll just add. Our dog is come here. These are our dogs. This is Luna. Say hi, Luna. She's crazy.
Yeah.
She's a lunatic Luna. So anyway, they're coming out with a coffee pod where you can put your own ground coffee beans into, which I really appreciate. Yeah. Just because from my perspective, right, it's always nice to be able to have the coffee that you're used to too. Like these coffee pods, we haven't had one we dislike for sure. I don't even know if I've told you or not yet, but I've already went on and purchased a couple of different of the coffee pieces. I tried them and I was like, this is really cool. So we've already purchased a whole bunch of different flavors and stuff that they have available. But it's always nice to be able to, it's holiday time, right? It's almost Christmas here in the States. So we wanted, I like Starbucks Christmas blend sometimes. So having those coffee beans, being able to grind them and make it in this kind of machine, that's just super value added to me. So I'm looking forward to that specifically as well.
For sure. Kind of just to wrap everything up and bring it full circle. For me, this is a very exciting thing that we have found, because I'm always looking to give my money to small companies, startup companies, people who are just really trying to kind of be inventive and kind of come up with things that are outside the box. And in doing that before, like we've said, You know, we've gotten burned and lost some money on some things, which is okay. But this is something that I really feel like we can, you know, say has really worked out so far right now. And that makes me super excited. So I just can't wait to see what else is coming, you know, in the future for this company. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is we really wanted to, because it's so new, you know, you're going to go on YouTube and try and find reviews about it. So we just kind of really wanted to get something up right now, just talking about it, you know, having it only one day. And in a couple weeks, we'll talk about even more. So
yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Catch you guys next time.
Bye.